So I decided I should do a video about trimming boards because it is a step and it's an important step. So, for example, I went through and trimmed these, trimmed the ends. They're all squared off now. I took out any of the material that I didn't like. So what am I looking for? First of all, this one's pretty clear. They're not always this clear. So we have a bad area. We have a crack that goes to about right here. We do have these holes, but that's very indicative in butternut. Very common in butternut. So does that bother me? Not really. That doesn't bother me. I know there's no activity in there. Just from past experience, it's butternut. They're dark, so I'm not worried about a bug being in there. So I could cut it here, or I could say, you know what, there's 3 in a row there. I'm going to cut it right here. And it looks a little, yeah, either way. Go here or there. Probably will go here. Then the other thing I'm looking for is, so is there any cracks? Is there bad areas? But also when you plane it, the planer can tend to dip in on the end. So I'm touching it like this and like this to see if there's any dips. In this case, I don't feel any, so I'll probably trim it right in here. And the same way with this end. Feels good. So just a little bit. That way I get a good clean cut, squared off cut. In this case, probably the same thing. Let's see if we can see another example of, these all look pretty good, really. Well, here we have an area, this end is taken off right there, so I want to come into there at least. I don't feel any dips, so everything else looks good. So I'd probably trim it like right here. And this end's all looking good, so just take a 1/4 inch off. So basically that's the idea. If this knot was bigger, I probably would come in here and take that off, but that's small. Looks kind of cool, so I would leave that. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'll go through and trim them all, and then we're ready for the next step. So trimming boards, it's a good chance to really examine it. You're looking for any bug holes that don't look good. If there's any bug holes, you know, especially the smaller they are, the more you have to worry about them, in my opinion. Those little tiny ones, you don't want them. Unless they're all black. If the holes are all black, then you're probably okay, but it's still taking a chance. So you want to take them off. If it's kiln dried lumber, you're safer, but in my case, I'm really not sure what it is. Some could be and some might not be. But either way, it's been in the shop in some cases for a long time, so it could have picked up bugs. But so you're examining it, you're looking for character, just, you know, and you're trying to decide what's good and what's not. Like here, butternut, so no worries for me. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with these holes, given that it's butternut and from past experience, which is also called white walnut, by the way. So here we have black walnut. And this is towards the, see how it's, you have the really dark, and then you have a lighter. This is towards the outer part of the log. So this is the inner part, outer part. Here we have some red oak, and you see how the difference in sawing. So this is sawed one way. You see the grain like this, but then when you flip it on end, look what you see. You see a different pattern, which is really cool. So depending on how the log is sawed, it gives you different patterns. So really cool. So in this case, actually it looks like I forgot this end. This good example. So here we have a crack here. And if I look at it, well, it's not bad. I can live with that given what I'm doing. So I could take another 1/2 inch off, or I can say, you know what, it's okay. Because of what I'm making, that is not going to be a factor. Okay, let's get back to trimming, and then we can move on. Trimming lumber.